Hello again. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. I hope you all had a great weekend at the spa for Belmont at Saratoga. We're just going to do a little weekend recap and cover some of the major action that took place. We're going to get right into it. Start with the feature race on Friday. Was a sight to behold. DK Horse Acorn Stakes. All eyes were obviously on Thorpedo Anna, who so impressively won at Churchill Downs in the Kentucky Oaks. Would she be able to repeat that effort? Just FYI was her main threat, and that horse tried to take her on, running some pretty fast opening fractions. Then they were side by side for most of the way until the stretch when, of course, Thorpedo Anna unleashed her fury. She just tore him up down the stretch, left him in her dust. Clearly the best 3-year-old filly. Now, arguably the best 3-year-old horse overall can be made. Maybe she's in the realm of targeting the boys now, or just maybe getting on those 3-year-old and up races where she'll have face older horses, like some of the ones we'll talk about here in a minute. I don't really know, but super impressive race altogether. Then on Saturday, really roller coaster ride for me. I just couldn't figure out all weekend the turf races, and Saturday wasn't much different. We had some upsets and some wild stuff happening, but the dirt I was pretty on point with, and one of those races was race 6, where I did originally like Charge It in that race, but he had scratched out. That's the Suburban. So then I go in figuring it's Croupy. Croupy by far looks like the best horse. Croupy's running against better, more experienced. But for some reason, the 8-horse Bindug was the 4-5 chalk, even over Pletcher and Irad Ortiz. They were 5-2. So the race was pretty awesome. The finish was incredible. Tracking down there was like a 3-way race there. Mask Parade was the other horse that I was interested in, and it was a really long shot. I wish I would have included that horse in a trifecta, but all I did was do a 2-horse box with Croupy and Bindug, and then it comes down the stretch, and I really want Croupy up on top because he's 5-2, and he comes through with a fury right at the end and gets over Bindug for that box. So that was a really good one. A race I didn't bet was the one after that was the Ogden Phipps. I just didn't want to mess with Idiomatic. But Randomized gets it done, gets her revenge on the chalky Idiomatic. I believe went off 3-5. Too close to call finish. I mean, Randomized took to the lead, took it all the way home, had enough horse to hold off her late char. It was really they had just kind of evened out down the field, and it looked like Idiomatic was going to pass, but Randomized wasn't having it. So that was a really awesome race. But maybe one of my favorite races, if not the favorite race of the day, was the Hillendale Met Mile, the old Wilson Shoot. I really like that, actually. I'll get to more of that later. But National Treasure didn't disappoint me. I predicted it as I predicted in my previous video Saturday. If you saw it, I knew he'd blow right out of the gate, and he did. He wired him like Jimmy McNulty. I loved the effort down the stretch by post time to get up and over. Another great effort by Hoist the Gold. That's what I thought too. I said I said you kind of have to include Hoist the Gold in your trifecta wagering. And if you would have done that, I believe a 50-cent trifecta paid like $21. So not too bad for that small field of horses. Hoist the Gold went off at big odds. So excellent race, start to finish. Really, really great. So the Belmont Stakes actually is where I wanted to take it to next. And I just have to start with this. The break from the gate was an absolute shit show. Sierra Leone, who I'm beginning to think, excuse my language, is a fuck up of a horse, broke out into mind frame, then jumped back over and broke into Honor Marie, banged into him, knocked him over. Honor Marie was my big wager or my $10 money back special bet at I forget 12 to 1 odds or something. So I'm already she's or I keep saying she because it's Marie, but he was already way far back, but he does come from behind. I'm already on tilt. Dornock shoots out to the lead along with Seize the Gray, and Mindframe does fine. Then it kind of stays pretty normal the whole way. And then once they go, you can see Anna Marie in the back make her bid, uh, and then Sierra Leone makes his bid to the wide. Anna Marie cuts over into the middle of the track, but once again, Sierra Leone drifts in and runs into number 5 Antiquarian, pushes Antiquarian over, which bumps Anna Marie right in the middle of her or his stride. And so much for the new bit in the steering and all the new jockey bullshit. So the horse is just going to do what he does, evidently. So it just if Sierra Leone would have hit the board in any way, I would have been just straight up inquiry on that, because that you just can't keep doing that stuff in the stretch. So anyway, Dornock was outstanding in the stretch drive, outlasting everyone. Seize the Gray gave way. Valiant effort, but a horse that has that many starts in a short amount of time and without a break is just Dwayne. I love Dwayne Lucas, but he just does seem he did the same thing with Just Steel. Too many starts until that horse actually got injured and then had to have surgery. So he runs them hard. I'll give him that. But props to Danny Gargan, Luis Saez. Excellent race, well-deserved win. So anyway, to finish things off, I wasn't even going to play Sunday. I took it on the chin in the Belmont. So I was going to take a tiny profit and just go home, right? Well, at the end of the Memorial Golf Tournament, I was curious. I jumped over to Saratoga. I said, "Oh, there's still a few races left." Muddy track. Uh, so they finally did get some rain, and then everything was off the turf. There was 2 out of the last 3 races. So I jumped over and grabbed some past performances and started looking for my mud angle, and that rolled out. I closed the weekend with 3 straight winners, the last 3 races on the card. And I'm going to show you a real quick example of what I mean by the mud stat. So let's take a quick look. All right. As you can see, race 10 was the money iron in Mount Vernon. Turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. New York approved, all that kind of good stuff. 1 mile. Well, it was off the turf. So we were back to the old Wilson chute, if you remember, coming out of this little spot down here and coming across for the mile. So I start going through and looking. And one of the things you do also want to look, especially when with turf horses, when they come off turf, is this little X right here. That means that it was taken off the turf, muddy track. So that's a first tip for me. Second, by a neck, just lost going a mile at Aqueduct, and then started actually her career on the dirt and had some success. Slop, won in the slop, going away by 14. So Joel Rosario riding. Joel gets him out fast, breaking from the 1 post Wilson chute. You saw what an advantage National Treasure had in the Met Mile, how quick you can get out from that early break. So then the stat I wanted to say, here it is, 21% mud and 494 starts. That's normally from what I looked up and I did some research on it, the lesser starts, the better. Like they really just say maybe a few hundred starts, but I thought 494 was acceptable for such a high percentage. So I said, all right, I'm already looking at Silver Skillet. There was a couple more. There were some scratches. There was a couple more down here, and I believe one of these down here was a main track only. That was what I wanted to say. Tough Street, main track only. People say, "Oh yes, main track only." That's awesome. That means it's this horse is going to be a great advantage. I mean, all the numbers look good, but if you recall, the further outside you are, the worse it is out of that Wilson chute. So I immediately tossed out the 10, and I went after that 1, which I think went off at 3-1. So I just placed win bets on these 3 races. Placed the win bet on Silver Skillet. And as you can see, a la very similar to what National Treasure did, broke right to the lead. Joel gets him out fast, and he just absolutely rolled the field up. Then the two other races went very similarly, and I really enjoyed handicapping those in the mud, and when the race breaks exactly, which actually one of them was a 4-5 chalk, but and then it was like 6-5. So the second two were pretty chalky, but they figured. And then after in the smaller field, one of them was a money back special, so that was a nice one. But anyway, it turned out to be quite a profitable weekend after I just had been up just a few dollars from the weekend, because I was ahead Saturday, so I kind of uncorked a little bit for me on the Belmont, but didn't cash anything on that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed all the Belmont coverage. I'm going to have a lot more stakes racing action coming on this summer. We got the Saratoga meet coming up, and we got all kinds of just great stakes races. Stephen Foster right down the road at Churchill Downs is going to be a great day. So stick around with me, stay engaged, and until then, we'll see you soon.